you shoot at a bar of solid gold, most people think the bullet would immediately be deflected.
Yeah, I accidentally made a Zack film video inside of Blender 3D.
You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
All of this started exactly 92 days ago. That's when I uploaded this video about some shorts creators who were dominating the platform. And obviously, Zack film was there. After uploading the video, I received a lot of impressions on it, mostly because of this guy himself. There were lots of comments talking about how Mr. C makes his animated videos, gets all this insane amount of views, and most importantly, how he earns this fat stack of cash from YouTube. The comments started getting piled up day by day, and I decided to make a video on how Zack film made his videos. But it was not a tutorial kinda in-depth video, it was more like a handbook to how these videos were done inside of a 3D software. But these guys were not satisfied by it. They wanted me to learn a 3D software which I was scared to touch for a very long time. But then one day at 3 AM I decided to take it as a challenge, learn Blender 3D and make this animation within a week. Just because of my sexy brains. Correction. Because of these helpful videos created by these amazing human beings from all around the planet, I was able to complete this small 3D render within 3 days. I know 3 days is a lot for a 12-second video, but in my defense, I was a noob in Blender. I still am. But after getting to know about what to do inside of Blender, you will easily be able to make an animation like this. And if you are really interested, you will learn much more while you follow this kind of tutorials. Quick note, the entire project contains some important assets and all of these assets will be there in the description. So go download them and let's see what kind of crazy, idiotic things I've done inside of Blender 3D. Also, to everyone new to Blender, don't worry. After this video, you'll have an idea if you want to create a Zack film or not. But to be frank, if I could make this animation, you could definitely make this too. Now, let's get serious and go right back to the video.
Wait for it.
The very first thing I've done,
Here it comes.
which is really important, is that
Almost there.
I have downloaded Blender 3D.
Stop it.
Alright, first of all, select the default cube, scale it up and delete these 4 faces. Then bevel the edges to have a studio backdrop kind of look. After that, add a texture to the surface. I'm gonna use this grid background from our previous video and then resize it in the UV editor. To be frank, all of this took me half a day to learn, just because I didn't know what to search in YouTube. Even though there are every possible tutorial available on Blender, we might get stuck when we don't know what to type in the search box, and that's where all my time went. Also, if you guys are really new to Blender and you want to learn this step-by-step, word-to-word tutorial, then do let me know in the comment section. Also, do like this video. We are very close to 1000 subscribers. Now back to the video. We have completed our background. The next step would be to add in our characters and objects. While adding these objects into the scene, their textures will not be linked into the model. For linking them together, change the editor type to shader editor, then enable the node wrangler in the preference option. Then click on this add principal setup option. After that, select our texture files and import it into our 3D model. And just like that, our texturing is done. Keep on doing the same steps with every other model which we are going to import into the scene. Also import the FPX and OBJ files using the import option and import the .blend files with the append option. I never scale the backdrop to any proportion, nor do I know how much the length, breadth and height it has. All you have to keep in mind is to scale down our assets proportionally. And it's okay if things are a little bit big or a little bit small. Our goal is to convey the message, so trust your eyes and create a scene like this. One important thing that you should keep in mind while doing any of these 3D animations is to prioritize your time. For an example, if you don't feel like creating this 3D character or modeling this firearm, don't spend days going through hundreds of tutorials to create something that is easily and freely available in the 3D marketplace. The younger me would have spent a lot of time modeling every single element within our scene and wasted a lot of time. Actually, it's not a waste of time because you are learning something while you are doing this modeling thing. But if your ultimate goal is to create a Zack film video, then focus on doing that. But if your goal is to create some cool 3D objects within the scene, then erase everything that I've said till now and start focusing on learning the modeling process. So these assets are already available in the description, or if you want any alternative options, they are easily available in many other websites. Just search for them and add to the scene like this. I'll also give you a free hack that saved me hours while creating this video, because initially I thought I'll download some characters as per my last video, I'll add to the scene, I will rig them and start animating it with respect to the timeline. But that's when I knew about this website called as Mixamo. The best part about this website is that you will have to select a character from the character section and pick an animation for it from the animation section. And if you click download, you will have a pre-rigged, pre-animated character ready to take off your scene. And that's exactly what I did with the gun animation. I selected this character called as Leonard, then I typed shooting in the search animation section. After that, I selected this pistol shooting animation, decrease the character's arm space and download this asset. After importing to the scene, we have this masterpiece. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a beginner in Blender, it would have taken you at least a day or two to do this animation. So keep in mind to bookmark this website, it is a lifesaver. Mixamo, if you are watching this, please sponsor us. After rescaling and carefully placing objects inside our scene, we have a space like this. And about the stand, I am proud to say that after 8 hours of struggle, I modeled this myself because it was not available in the 3D market website. Or more like I didn't know about the exact keywords to search for this exact 3D model. But you guys don't worry, I'll add this model in the description so you can download this very own PsyQuest model for free. So after adding all these assets and our previous rigged characters, wait. Before that, let's click spacebar to preview our animated character. See? So cool, right? This is all done by just clicking few buttons. Now we need to link this animated character's arms to the gun which we just imported. And keyframing the gun's X, Y and Z to the character's arms movement is not the way to do it. And guys, I had no idea how to link this, but that's when I found this video in which they clicked few buttons and the hands and the gun was just linked just like that. By the way, don't forget to group all these objects individually so that it will be easier to move all of them in the scene. The shortcut for grouping them would be Ctrl+J. Then let's grab our character and move him into his position. Now in order to link these two assets together and make the gun follow the same animation to the guy's hand, we need to use a child of constraint to these two assets. So according to my little knowledge, what happens here is that the gun becomes a child constraint and the character becomes the parent constraint. So whatever movement the parent does, the child also follows it. So we can rig these 2 points to each other to get an animation like this. And for that, select our gun, go towards the constraints tab, add a child of option. Then we need to parent this to the rigged character's point, and a new option will appear in which they will ask you to select a bone to which the gun should be linked. I had a few confusions with the bones, but after going through all of them, I figured for this animation, the left hand middle 3 bone is the right one. Then select the set inverse option to reposition our gun back to its original position. And just like that, we have linked both these characters. Then after that, we have small tweaks like repositioning and rescaling the animation to make it a little bit more natural. Now let's do the same thing with the bullet as well. And over here, the bullet becomes a child and the left hand middle 3 bone becomes a parent. After scaling the bullet down, I've opened the timeline, added a keyframe on the location, rotation and scale at frame number 2. Then I've changed the bullet's position all the way towards the gold bar and made a keyframe on frame number 1100. And after that, if we play our animation, we have something like this. The animation might look a little bit slow at this point, but I really like it this way because anyway we can change it in a video editing software. The next step would be to add the bullet hole to our gold bar. And it is also really simple because we're going to use a dynamic paint modifier for it. And for adding that, select the gold bar, then go towards the physics tab, add a dynamic paint modifier, set the gold bar as a canvas, then select the animation start point. After that, go towards the bullet, add the same dynamic paint modifier and change the type to brush. After that, if we play the animation, we can see that a single thing hasn't changed. That's because if we go towards our edit mode and select our gold bar, we can see that there are no vertices on the gold bar surface. And if there are no vertices, the modifier can't deform it correctly. So for the deformation to happen, select the gold bar's vertices and add these loop cuts on both horizontal and vertical axis so that the modifier will have more room to play with the bullet hole. Then if we play our animation, we will have a deformation like this. Next step would be to add a camera to the scene. After adding it to the scene, I'll open a secondary window to preview it. After that, let's change its aspect ratio vertically. Now let's move our camera to the backside of our character so that we will have a third-person perspective view. Then we can go a couple of frames ahead and locate our bullet using the camera. When it comes to camera movement, you be the director. You can have this top-down view or the side angle view or the zoomed-in view if you want. But do keep in mind to add these keyframes if you are making any changes to the camera. So after playing around for a while, this is my camera animation. So finally, we might feel like we have completed our work, but we are missing the most important part of this whole project, and that's our lights. I've placed one big area light on the right hand side of our character and changed its luminance all the way up. Then I've added one more on the opposite side. I've also added a warm light over our character and a spotlight on our gold bar stand. And these are our results. The final most thing to do is rendering. Rendering can take a bit of time. In my case, for a 40 seconds video, it took me almost 2.5 hours. And I'm rendering it on EV at 30 FPS, not as PNGs but as .mpeg video files. And after almost 3 hours of rendering, 7 days of intense learning and back pain, we have completed our Zack film video. If you want a detailed in-depth tutorial, do let me know in the comment section. Bye bye and take care.